Good evening, everyone. We will begin the evening service of the Miroku Association headquarters, expressing our gratitude to God and Meishu-sama for the permission and protection granted while participating today in God's divine plan of constructing paradise on this earth. Let us pray together the Amatsu-Norito, the prayer of heaven, followed by the Miroku Prayer. Please stand. Taka amahara ni kamsumarimasu. Kamurogi kamuromi no mikoto mochite. Sumemi oya kamurizana ino mikoto. Tsukushi no imuka no tachi hana no odo no ahagi harani misogi harai tamo toki ni narimateru arai dono o kami tachi moro moro no magagoto tsumi kegare o arai tamai kiyome tamai tomao sukoto no yoshi o amatsu kami kunitsu kami yao yorozu no kami tachi tomo ni ame no fuchi goma no mimi kurita tete kiko shimese to kachikomi mo maosu. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae sakihae tamae. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae sakihae tamae. Oshie mi oya nushi no kami mamori tamae sakihae tamae. Oshie mi oya nushi no kami mamori tamae sakihae tamae. Nagara tamachi mate. Nagara tamachi mate. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, as the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified, and believe your truths given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May heaven and earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity, our reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated. We will now receive Group Johrei.
Obrigado, Meishu.
Johrei is now concluded. We will now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teaching. Happiness. When people cannot detach themselves from greedy and unlimited material desire, they ruin themselves in spirit and body. How tragic it is. Many are blinded by greedy and temporal pleasures, losing sight of the true path to eternal happiness. Freedom of choice is given to everyone. Through our thoughts, we can create heaven or hell. Two of our most common and characteristically human weaknesses are ego and attachment. In fact, they are so closely related they could be considered twins. Careful observation of any complicated, unsolved problem reveals that its reason almost always lies in these twins. For example, some ego driven public officials with inordinate attachments to their offices are eventually forced to quit in disgrace. When business people place the pursuit of money and self profit before the good of their company and fellow workers, they often lose their fortune in the long run. The over possessiveness of one lover can actually cause the other to seek an end to the relationship. Individuals who make those around them suffer as a result of being obstinate and egocentric eventually bring about suffering for themselves as well. A major goal of religion is to help us rid ourselves of our overindulgent egos and extreme attachments. Ever since I learned this truth and began putting it into practice, I have freed myself from a great deal of mental suffering. And in every area of life, I have experienced good results. The adage, do not worry about either the past or the future, is wise indeed.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the Miroku Association headquarters evening service. Also, for continue praying for world peace. Most recently, the Hurricane Dora and wildfires in Maui, Hawaii. Let's keep praying for all these victims. This evening, I want to share with you the faith experience of Rafaela Bemuniao de Andrade da Silva from Ananindeua Johrei Center in Brazil. Rafaela, now 33 years old, was born into a family of Johrei members. Since the birth of her youngest son, currently 4 years old, he experienced respiratory problems such as asthma, sinusitis, and allergic rhinitis, and were taking more than 6 medications daily. Rafaela and her husband became very worried because despite the medications, the attacks were getting stronger and more constant, and he needed to be hospitalized frequently. In August of last year, in the midst of yet another crisis, they decided to intensify the Johrei channeling to him. They took their son to the Johrei Center every day, including Sundays, and continued with the Johrei channeling at home. Thus, he received Johrei practically the entirety of each day. From that period on, he no longer took medications. With such approach, he showed a great improvement in a 4 month interval. There were only 2 mild allergic crises. In December, he had a very bad asthma attack. Having her husband channeled more than 24 hours of uninterrupted Johrei to him, prayed before their home altar, and asked God and Meishu-sama for strength to overcome that purification. In the morning, they took their son to the Johrei Center. Rafaela walked in and with him on her arms, since he was having trouble breathing. Thereafter, they continued with the channeling of intensive Johrei. In the evening, he vomited in large amounts. Next morning, he woke up with steady breathing. Again, they went to the Johrei Center, but this time he ran into the unit to the center without shortness of breath. Rafaela couldn't hold back her tears of gratitude at that moment. More than 48 hours of Johrei, their son completely recovered. It's noteworthy that in the last severe crisis, he had to stay in the hospital for 5 days. In the face of this marvelous miracle, they determined to offer a special gratitude donation. Since then, he continues to receive Johrei daily, and his respiratory crises are now just mild ones. No longer needed medication or hospitalizations. He's a happy and healthy boy. Rafaela and her husband dedicate weekly to channeling Johrei. Both share the MC dedication for daily services, as well as in the accounting sector of their Johrei Center. Rafaela is very thankful to God and Meishu-sama for the blessings and protection granted. She now commits herself to serving the divine work and to share the light of Johrei to the greatest number of people. Thank you very much for attending this evening service and for listening to this faith experience. Wish you a most wonderful evening.
This brings to a conclusion this evening service. Thank you everyone for joining us. We wish you a very blessed evening.